Hello everybody, this is Master, and welcome to my first League of Legends Shoutcast. I hope you do also enjoy it, as I will certainly enjoy commentating it for you all. Let's take a look at the team, shall we, as this game gets underway. On blue team, we have Shyvana, Jax, Diana, Janna, and Ezreal. Whereas on red team, we have Brand, Pantheon, Riven, Soraka, and Sivir. Right off the bat, a thing I noticed is that Sivir is going to bot lane against Janna and Ezreal, two people that she is very good against for one reason. She has amazing lane sustain with her shield, and both of them have pretty obvious ability usage. Not as bad as Ezreal's not as bad as Caitlyn, like in that manner where Sivir can just step on traps and get mana back. But Janna's tornadoes can be very obvious, and Sivir can just activate the shield to get mana back. Also, Ezreal skill shots. If the Sivir is good at playing Sivir and is familiar with her spell shield timing, then she will be able to get a lot of mana back from both the abilities of blue team and Soraka, which is going to be very good. Right now, however, we have the normal jungle protection coming out from both teams. Riven has opted to start at the blue buff, whereas Shyvana is going to start at her red buff. This could mean for an early gank by Shyvana on top lane. Possibly. Riven could also go to bot lane. They could both also go to bot lane, but
Yes, it's true.
both of them are relatively quick junglers, so I imagine both of them want to get both their buffs as quickly as possible to deny any opportunities of counter jungling. Something that these two junglers do have in common, besides their relatively quick speed due to AoE and high damage output, is that neither of them are resource champions, so they could both technically start at red buff and suffer no penalties at all. However, it seems that the leash has failed, unfortunately, for Riven, as they did not allow Riven to aggro the wolves at first. That was unfortunate. However, everything is going back underway. Shyvana is starting her red buff. Riven, shortly after, is going to start her blue buff after a leash from her friendly Brand. There's nothing more going on underway. Janna helping Shyvana with her sustain a bit. Let's see, Shyvana has started with boots and health potions. Riven has started with the same thing. Diana, surprisingly, started with a Doran's Ring, whereas Ezreal started with the Doran's Blade. Other than that, red team has a very typical start, almost all of them going boots and health potions, whereas Soraka going Becky Pendant and wards. Ever see the first little bit of warding? You're not going to be able to take that down. Counter warding the other bush too. Not really counter warding, but, allowing things to go by. This top lane matchup is very interesting. Jax versus Pantheon. This should early game go into Pantheon's favor, since Jax is not an incredibly early duelist before level 6. He's pretty good with his auto attack reset and his dodge, but he is still not an amazing duelist until level 6. Then he starts really shining with his ultimate active and passive. I don't expect... Riven, I would say, has better ganks than Shyvana. Shyvana suffers from, I have to run at them and hope that they are super overextended, and I have red buff. Ooh, there's Diana catching a bit of a stun, and the ignite. So much damage early on from Brand. She is going to get dropped immediately. Very good play by Brand, getting the good stun right there. Diana not having any creep behind to hide behind, whereas she just had to completely run away and she was not able to juke the Seer, which allowed Brand to finish her off. Now Shyvana decided to go next to Brand. Oh, both of them have wasted their flash. Interestingly enough, Shyvana has broad flash instead of exhaust, which you usually see a lot on jungle Shyvana, since she has no other form of hard CC besides her ultimate, which is kind of a push, but it's still not very good CC, although it's a good gap closer. Jax with Pantheon. Back to the Jax versus Pantheon. I'm gonna have to say Jax is gonna have a far better late game here. Just a little bit of harassment down the lane. And as late game goes, I would say, which team looks better? Both of the teams look good. Pantheon, I think, certainly falls off late game, whereas Jax is a very good late game, especially if he becomes fed. But neither of the teams really shines to me that they're going to be super good or way better than the other team after a certain point. There's Jax laying down some harass with his Counter-Strike stun. However, that cost him a lot of mana, and he is very low on mana. Pantheon not much higher. Here comes Riven. Jax is caught horribly out of position, extremely overextended. He even drops his knight on Pantheon, but the health potion is going to be enough to keep Pantheon alive in that situation. Very good. Bot lane, we have a little bit of harass going on, but Sivir is just pushing the lane because she has all the mana she could ever wish for with this Soraka here on her team. Sivir, one of the best pushers in the game because of her AoE and the fact that she's an AD carry. Both very good. Oh, a little bit of a duel between Diana and Riven. Riven obviously has way more damage than Diana does right now in the game. Diana's going to want to get out there as fast as possible. Here comes Shyvana to assist. Riven's going to stun, try to walk away, but no, she fails her flash, causing her to fall to both Ignite and the damage from the two of them. However, Diana's going to want to get out of there fast because Bran can just take her out in a moment's notice. It looks like she's just going to go back and recall. That's a very good job by Shyvana coming to assist her mid laner. Now she's going to go run through her jungle, see if she can get any type of counter jungling going on. Obviously, blue buff hasn't spawned yet. I don't expect to see it spawn until about 7 minutes. Be about the timers on them. Ooh, Shyvana's coming in. She does break the shield. I think with the Q of Shyvana does break the shield. However, she burns an exhaust, which is, you know, successful gank. She got a summoner spell to come out. But unfortunately, she did latch immediately onto Sivir and broke her spell shield when Shyvana tried to use her Twin Bite, which negated all of the damage from it. Now she's just going to go right back to her jungle, continue jungling. It looks like Shyvana is going for a fade right off the bat. A little bit of harass going down in mid lane. Doesn't look like, not like it's going to be anything too big. Diana's just going to return some harass of her own. A lot of people have been playing Diana mid lane. I do not think she's as strong mid lane as she is in her jungle. Unfortunately. I do not think so. Oh, here comes Riven to help with the gank. This is going to be an easy cleanup, as there's no way Diana is getting out of that one. Very good job. Riven, a much better ganker than Shyvana, as she does come in with, I would say, a similar amount of damage, but like her Q is pretty much 3 knockbacks in one. Mini knockbacks in one. And then, of course, she has her very short stun, AoE stun as well, which helps her get much more damage in on a gank. Now Brand is level 6. He does have his ulti. It's going to make him much more dangerous, as Diana is not level 6 yet. Here comes Riven. Is she just walking through? No, yep. I thought maybe there she was going to help him push the lane to the tower, maybe do some damage, but Diana has already respawned. And with Shyvana is low, however, just having picked up a red buff. She might be looking in to go for a gank. Here it comes, putting some pressure on him, getting a little bit more harassed down before Shyvana comes in. She does use her pull right now. She dodges the seer. She gets conflagrated and burning pillared. Oh, here comes Shyvana going into dragon form, using all of her abilities. Oh, but the ignite and the passive and the creep damage are too much for Diana. She should not have gone back out there. She should have retreated back into the other bushes in the river, right around here. She should not have come back in the lane. She should have just wrapped right around the river. She would have been fine. That was way too much creep aggro for her to be taken, and she was dropped so fast. Brand has picked up his Hex Tech. Looks like Riven wants to take her blue, but of course she wants to give it to her Brand so that Brand can be even more annoying in lane, which is something Brand always wants to be. Right now, blue buff has just spawned for red team. Probably going to be giving it to the Diana, as Shyvana certainly doesn't need it, except for cooldowns, which are always useful. Soraka's trying to pick up a little bit more CS as her lane partner has gone back. Right now the score is 2-4, 500 gold lead in favor of red team. Nothing of course that can't be overcome. Shyvana's just going to sit here at blue buff. I have a motto when I'm jungling. If you don't come for your buff, I'm going to take it. And this Diana is certainly taking her good time coming to get it. Fortunately, it's good for team morale to give it, but Shyvana's taking a lot of unnecessary damage. It's going to hurt her jungling. And if she wanted to gank after getting this, she's not going to be able to now. She is much too low. If we go in top lane, we got the Pantheon versus Jax. Nothing too big has happened. Neither have managed to kill each other yet. But I don't know. Sorry, that's not true after the Riven gank, but them 1v1ing each other, this is going to slowly go into Jax's favor as the game goes longer, but right now Pantheon does have a lot of power at this point in the game with his targeted stun and his Heart Streak and his Heart Seeker, very powerful abilities early mid-game. There goes Shyvana. Both junglers looks like red team's wanting to gank mid lane. However, this might be just enough push right here, whereas Diana's going to overextend just a little bit. It's all going to depend on, can Brand land his stun quickly? Nope, decides Riven's sick of waiting, so Brand just goes back to pushing the lane. Riven's going to go right back into her own jungler. Red team has pushed all the way to the turret. Nothing else much more interesting happened though. Neither jungler have really, besides Shyvana, has really tried to gank this bot lane, so it has been relatively safe so far. Soraka right now only packing some GP10, whereas Janna has also a vision ward. Might be looking to do a little bit of counter warding here, which would be very helpful at this state in the game. Ooh, looks like Diana has been killed by Brand. I know Shyvana is trying to do a little bit of cleanup. However, it's not going to be successful. I'm sorry, I missed that. Oh, the flash, but it's not going to be enough. So very close. Shyvana needs to get out of there now, though, however. As there's a Riven coming, she activates her Blade of the Exile. This is certainly a kill. Oh, will it be? Yes. Barely. We lands the Qs to get the kill. She activated Blade of the Exile just a little bit too early there, but I have barely survived this Shyvana harass. Fortunately, Brand was barely able to land that stun, which saved his life when Shyvana flashed forward. Very good play on Brand's part. Here we go, a little bit of a tussle between Jax and Pantheon. Couldn't see the health bars, but yes, Jax is not quite the early game monster that Pantheon is. So Pantheon was able to use all of his abilities, roll his face on the keyboard hard enough, and get a kill. Very good job by Pantheon there. Securing the kill on Jax. Making Jax's late game just come a little bit later. Right now, Jax seems to have been taking a lot of abuse. Right now, he is 0-3-0. That does not look good for Jax or his team. Right now the score is 2-8. Red team has solidified their lead much more than it was earlier with a 2.3k gold lead. Very well played by Red team. However, bot lane is still pretty much as passive as it was before. Sivir's throwing out the harass because she has the mana to do so, showing that she can push as well as the best with her ricochet and boomerang blade. A bit of a wasted spell shield. I think it doesn't look like she's as good with her spell shield as she needs to be, but I might be wrong. Shyvana is looking to do a lane gank. Ooh, let's see what happens with this. All they need is for red team to push out just a little bit more. This would be a good time for this would be a great time for Shyvana to come in. She does the exhaustion shot on Sivir. She starts shooting at Sivir with all of her abilities, but no, Sivir has a movement speed boost from her ulti. She's gonna turn around. Here comes Riven to help. Shyvana sees Riven. Shyvana tries to flash on the Riven attacker, but it's not going to be any good as John takes loads of damage. Sivir's chasing her. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. The summoner hero barely keeps John alive along with the health potion. Shyvana has not taken too much damage. Oh, the true shot barrage misses everybody, but Shyvana's going to keep going. I don't think she has the damage to take care of all three of them at once. She might be there with the debuff on all of them from the flame breath. Mid lane we have some damage going down. Brand taking a lot of damage. Pantheon's going to teleport in. Oh, that ulti did so much damage. Killing. Whoa, that was crazy. What just happened there? Brand's ultimate was able to bounce off Jax and Diana, doing so much damage, dropping both of them as Pantheon came in at the end, just like, where'd everyone go? I guess I'll just kill Diana. Diana right now 2-5. Jax right now 1-4-0. That was a very good ult by Brand. It bounced the maximum number of times, doing so much damage. Whereas bot lane, everyone is still alive. No one had died from that in-lane gank or that counter gank from Riven. So much action happening right there. And really, who came out on top? Red team. They got more kills and just added to their gold lead right now. Very impressive job by them. Brand's all getting maximum damage. Red team able to get the counter gank going to make sure Shyvana didn't get anything, and forcing almost all of blue team to recall so that they could push the lane back to the turret, and red team recalling themselves. Oh, here comes Shyvana for a gank. Looks like Jax has landed his counter strike. Pantheon flashes forward, but Shyvana's hot on his tail. Jax comes in with the flash as well. Oh, but they don't have enough damage. They're going to tower dive this leap strike. This stun on the Jax and the spears. But no, it's not going to be enough to take down Jax as he walks out of turret range one shot from being killed. Shyvana's going to take some creep score, as Jax would be wise right now just to recall. Because right now they don't know where Riven is. She could just be waiting to gank. This would be easy money right now. Yep, Jax is going to do right that. Push the lane, go back to recall. Smart move from Jax. Riven, get into her blue buff. Smites it early so she can give it to her friendly Brand, who's right now coming to grab it. Shyvana herself as well, signaling down to come get her blue buff. Looks like their timers are extremely similar right now. Oh, right after getting blue buff, looks like Brand wants to come down and gank, but there is a vision ward that sees both of them. Will they be able to get out in time? It does look like it, unless they decide to tower dive. This could be big. And no tower dive at all. They're just gonna say, nah, doesn't look like it's worth it. They're not going to push the lane either. They're just going to go back to their respective lanes. Riven, you going to do any counter jungling? No, maybe pick up Dragon? Ah, but that minion gives them vision. Those minions trying to give blue team vision. They're huddling around Dragon right now. They don't have any vision on it, but they're going to find Riven. This is going to turn into a 3v. This is going to turn into a 4v2 very fast. And Riven is stuck in the worst spot possible right now. However, the Brand ult does tons of damage, taking down Ezreal. And it looks like, oh, he fails his flash over the wall and is not going to be able to pick up the Janna kill. That would have been great. Here comes Sivir, trying to do even more damage. Janna barely pops her shield. She is so low on life. One more seer. Oh, it misses. How unfortunate for Brand. That would have been easy money. Brand is so sad right now. He is just so sad. That is how I feel every single time someone retreats to a tower and I miss a skill shot. I just feel so sad. Oh well, at least he has blue buff. Looks like Sivir's here. She wants to get something done, but what is she gonna do? I don't know, and probably nothing. Are they gonna tower dive this Diana? Oh, they might. They might. Nope. She smartly retreats. Now there are no minions. They don't want to stick around this tower anymore at all. Brandon's just going to keep shoving his lane up as far as he feels like. Because right now he is 6-2. He has earned the right to do that. He has a giant spell, 2 Doran's Ring, and some spell vamp. And of course, Boots of Magic Pen. So a very good build right now by Brand, offering him a lot more survivability than Diana's. Although she does have a Negatron Cloak, the ulti doesn't kill her, but the passive on his abilities do, as she burns to death from Brand's passive. Good job on his part. Diana did burn a flash and still died without getting the kill on Brand. Right now, Diana 3-6, Jax 1-4. Not looking too good. Whereas Brand is 7-2, Pantheon 3-1, and Riven is 2-2. Very good job by Red Team so far, keeping themselves ahead in the early game, pushing lanes constantly. Looks like here we have a Shyvana coming up for a gank on Pantheon. Will this turn out to anything? Pantheon has a ward, so he's like, nuh-uh, I'm not going to stick around for them to do damage. However, it looks like he might be tempting fate. Here comes Riven for the counter gank. What is she going to be able to do? Oh, she's going to walk right in the bush with Shyvana. Shyvana's going to immediately turn on her burnout and start attacking as Jax and Pantheon fight each other. Looks like Riven doesn't have enough damage to take out Shyvana. She activates her Blade of the Exile way too early, not getting the damage she needs. Does the stun, is able to pick up Jax. Turns her attention to Shyvana, but she is way too low on life to duel Shyvana. Will Shyvana be able to pick up the kill with this? One more attack, yes she does. The flash forward with the attack picks up the kill on Riven. Good job by Blue Team, despite the counter yank, able to pick up 2 kills for the price of 1. However, here is Brand. Oh, is he going to land his Seer? No, she jukes it, but the ult's going to come out. Is she going to? Yeah, she does get killed by the passive. This would be a good team to take some health potions against. I think... Yeah, let me remark on that for a moment. Blue Team should probably be holding health potions as often as possible to try to negate Brand's passive from killing them when they're low health like that. The health potion would keep their health up high enough to completely negate Brand's passive, which would be a very strong way of countering him. Here comes Soraka, Star Calling. They're doing a little bit of harass of her own, but still, Brand getting extremely fed. 8-2-2. Good job on his part. Here comes Diana for a gank, but they both flash right out of there. Wanting none of that. Actually, just Sivir flashes out of there, not Soraka. As they get a lot of damage onto Red Team, but are not able to pick up a kill because that Diana does not have as much damage as she wished she had. Looks like Diana's building a Rod of Ages, whereas I would say Brand is right now building a... Oh, excuse me there for a moment. Ryze Crystal Scepter. Here comes Diana dueling Brand, but Brand has a lot of damage. I don't think it's enough though, as Shyvana joins in too. They drop Ignite on Brand. He drops down his ult. It does tons of damage. Riven's going to almost pick up the kill here. Brand does with his passive. My gosh, his passive picking up so many kills this game. She misses her little micro stun, but here's Sivir to get all the damage necessary. Oh, the clutch Janna shield and the ultimate are barely going to save Shyvana's life. That is why Janna is such a strong pick. She has just so much crowd control, so much protection. She is able to just turn the tide of team fights by just disrupting the enemy's team ability to kill her own teammates. Much like a tank, but support. So very wonderful. And she's just so elegant. Why would you not want to play a Janna? She's just such an elegant figure. Looks like red team's gonna take the dragon. This is the first dragon of the game in about 20 minutes, 20 seconds. Right now it's just Riven and Soraka. This is gonna take them a while to DPS this down, so here comes Sivir to help the two. The red team has just lost their ward. Right now, neither team really has any ward out on the field. There goes the dragon, and that timer is about 20:30, so that means dragon will be coming back 6 minutes after that at 26:30. Important timers to know. You should always keep track of these in your games because they can help lead you to success. Blue team does not know that dragon has been taken out yet, although they did have some vision here right at this bush, so that might have given them the key that red team was doing dragon that whole time. Let's look at the farm rate. Right now, money-wise, red team is just a little under 4K in the lead of money. Farm-wise, the highest farm in the game is going to go to Brand. Not surprising, as he does have his AoE to help him farm as much as he wants, and he has been getting constant blue buff from his jungler. Second highest farm in the game, we're going to give that to Sivir, also an extremely good farmer. Right now has her BF sword, 2 Dorans, and some sustain through lifesteal. Let's look at that Ezreal's item. He went for a fast Sheen, meaning he might be lacking a little bit of damage compared to that Sivir, unfortunately. Looks like blue team's trying to take down this tower. Sivir's going to come in and say, no you don't. I'm going to pop my ulti and run at you guys. Whoa, she might be going all the way for the engage on this one. What is she going to do? Just throw some boomerangs at that Ezreal. Or is she going to go in for it? She gets exhausted. This could be bad. Soraka comes in dropping the heal. They don't want to engage us anymore with Soraka because that heal gives the Sivir a lot of armor. Looks like top lane did have a good gank. Both top laners getting killed, but thanks to the Riven, that is assist money for red team. However, Brand did get killed by Diana. Very interesting turn of events, as Diana has been behind most of this game.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And mid tower, the first tower to fall this game is going to be mid tower, the most important tower on red team. Not what I would have predicted, but hey look, blue team is getting themselves back in this game. Good on them. When you lose your mid tower, you lose a lot of map control. So that's a very good thing for blue to do, take the mid tower. Very strong way of pushing their advantage down. That is a pretty decent pusher with her Q. Looks like Sivir is making herself a nuisance to that Ezreal as she continues to drop out those AoE boomerang blades and ricochets. Very good. Diana wants to gank red team, and red team is certainly way overextended. Janna drops her slow. Oh, barely hits with the spell. She doesn't block the damage from her ult. She ults back in, but it's exhausted. There's the Q. So much damage onto that Sivir. Soraka popping the heal. Ezreal flashing forward, but I don't think he's be able to get anything as no one else is tower diving with him. Nothing happening on the blue team in that gank, but here comes Riven and Brand. This is going to turn on them very soon, but with Janna's CC, they might be able to walk out of here without any casualties. Brand drops his fire. Oh, there goes the ulti too. That's picking up 2 kills for red team. 1 for Riven, 1 for Brand. Very good job there to get the damage necessary to allow them to pick up the kills. Here we go, a little bit of a duel between top laners. Right now, Jack's starting to say, hey, I got some items under my belt. Look at me. I have a Bilgewater Cutlass. I have a Phage. I can hurt you, Pantheon. Oh, and tower diving Diana. Very good job. And here comes another tower dive moments after. Jack's on the Pantheon, and he's able to pick up the kill, but the tower and the Ignite are going to be too much for Jax, unfortunately, as he drops. And red team gets another turret, gets a turret out of their tower dive as well. Here comes, I was sticking around a little bit too long for Shyvana. She didn't even get the golem kill which she so very wanted. How sad for her. However, here is Sivir now, throwing some blades. Not getting too much though, as the score is 10-20 at the 24-minute mark. A little over halfway through the game. That's not really a spoiler because you can see the timer right there. 24:40 at a 45:20. This is going to be a long game, so this could still be anyone's game. We have seen some very good plays from Brand. How one does play Brand against Diana. And Brand is taking his race as his customary tax to the jungler, saying, I need farm. His Pillar of Flame is now able to one-shot the caster minions very good. However, he has no tower to fall back here. And right now, the whole of blue team is immediate to red team except for Diana and Janna. It looks like blue team wants to start forcing team fights maybe. However, top lane still has both of its towers up, so neither of them really want to roam. Riven's gonna start doing a ton of damage to Jax. He pops his ulti, she pops her ulti, but no kills possible on either side. Mid lane, we just have some normal harass. Sivir has come to her lane, has come to mid lane. However, she might want to be coming back bot lane as blue team is pushing as fast as they can, trying to take down the turret. Soraka's pinging, saying, "Oh hey, I could use some help down here." What is red team going to do? It looks like they're just going to take mid tower instead. Yep, that looks like that's what they're going to do. Red team takes both top tower and mid tower, meaning that blue team has no more tier 1 towers. Looks like Ezreal's able to pick up Pantheon, but Riven's like, "Hey, you took out my friend. I'm a-coming for you." Can Sivir help too? Sivir is also coming to help, but Shyvana and Janna are going to catch up to Sivir, who has almost no HP. She dragon forms in. Sivir pops her spell shield, but it only has a certain duration. That duration has ended. Riven is not able to catch up to the Ezreal, because Ezreal is quite a mobile champion. Riven is as well, but Ezreal has his flash ability. Looks like that Ryze is finished for Brand. He's going to pop his ulti, do a lot of damage. But Janna pops her ult, keeping her teammates just alive a little bit longer. However, Ezreal's going to get too close to a fed Brand and get nuked down super fast. Shyvana's just needs to flash over the wall just to escape. Very low HP. The Flame Pillar is not able to pick her up. I mean, look, what is that? Pillar of Flame. Same thing. You know, that's close enough considering I've never played Brand. Oh, Jax lands in the counter-strike. He pops his ult, he gives him survivability, and he does give him a lot of survivability, but I don't think he can even go 3v1 at this stage in the game, considering he's not super fed. However, it does look like, I think he's rushing his Trinity Force, I want to say, although he does have components of his Hextech Gunblade. And interesting, he's mixing the two builds in with each other. Very good. I'd like to see that initiative. Sivir has finished her Infinity Edge, whereas Ezreal has not even finished his Trinity Force. That gives a lot of damage to Sivir that Ezreal does not have. Right now, Pantheon is a Bloodthirster and a Phage with Brutalizer. Typical build for Pantheon, I'm pretty sure. I don't play him too much. I don't see many Pantheons out there, as his late game is pretty underwhelming. I did have a small jungling stint with Pantheon, though. That was really fun, because he has a targeted stun. It's kind of like Jungle Twisted Fate, except for you have a burst. Yay for jungling Twisted Fate and Pantheon. So much fun to play. Might not be the most viable things, but lots of fun. Here comes Soraka counter-warding with her Oracle, keeping Baron unseen by the enemy. Very good play. Red team right now, I'm going to have to give them the award for best ward coverage, although they're really only going against one ward. Blue team's going to take this dragon a couple minutes after it spawns. Red giving up that dragon because they had no vision on it. Good support for counter warding. Bad support for not warding yourself. 3 GP10 and you're not buying wards? What you doing, lady? What you doing? You're killing me. You're killing me. Looks like blue team wants to engage in a team fight as they are all mid lane. They are just all huddling together. Except for one of them. Who is that? Who are we missing? Jax, because he is dead, unfortunately. Got killed. Trying to push the tower. So blue team disperses, goes to farm their jungle and their pushed up lanes, which really, I guess, bot lane's getting a little push, but yeah, it looks like they're just all going to go into the jungle and push it or recall for fresh items. Right now, Soraka has Boots of Mobility, a very interesting choice. I don't think I have seen those ever on Soraka, but she does decide to pick up a few wards in honor, as Janna also has some wards with her. Those Boots of Mobility might be for counter warding and just running around warding, but now I think that cooldown reduction boots would be much better for her, especially with the Kindle Gem. That would bring her, without Runes and Masteries, to about 25% cooldown reduction if she had Boots of Cooldown, Boots of Lucidity. Those boots of I'm going to spam my spells as many times as possible. That would be nice for her. Here goes red team. They're looking to push bot lane as almost their entire team is here. Yes, here comes Soraka running with her boots of ganking. She's running oh so very fast. Look at her go. That little eye above her head. Blue team notices the threat here. True Shot Barrage hits 2 of the members of red team. along with doing major damage to minions. However, it looks like red team are going to be able to take this turret as blue team does not have all the members of their team. Jax is split pushing top. It's not a good thing to have your Jax split push off. Riven initiates with flash and her stun. Does tons of damage. The Brandal keeps bouncing, doing major damage. Shyvana almost gets dropped, but then Brand is able to drop Diana. Oh, that was a 1-for-0 exchange with Shyvana barely running out of that one alive. Looks like they're going to keep going against Ezreal, and the Seer does connect, killing Ezreal. Good job by red team, as they are able to take the inhibitor turret, and possibly the inhibitor behind it, as Jax is too busy split pushing to care that his team is getting murdered by this fed red team. This Brand is doing all sorts of damage, taking out the inhibitor. Will they push on a Nexus turret? They might. But here is Jax. This might not be the smartest idea ever, as they are under the Nexus turrets. However, they could take one down. Blue team's going to have to initiate eventually. They just can't keep poking. There goes the Nexus turret, and Shyvana is immediately bursted down, taking tons of damage. Jax rushes in, but unfortunately target fires Soraka and lances Ignite on her. That's not really going to be helpful for any team fight, as there's still so much damage from red team that hasn't been touched. Another true shot barrage from Ezreal, as he comes in and starts laying down his own type of pain, dropping down first Riven, then Brand. Looks like Pantheon's gonna fall as well. Oh, will he? The slow, yes, does make it a secured kill, thanks to Diana's flash. And the only ones walking out of that are Sivir and Soraka. However, it looks like Soraka is going to be caught up to, Sivir. Oh, the Janna tornado barely misses. She activates her spell shield, and it barely fades away as Janna latches her do. Soraka should just keep going. There's nothing she can do for her teammate. Oh, but the flash over the wall might be enough to save her, keep her team from getting aced. Will it be enough to keep her team from getting aced? It does look like it. They are not going to be able to pursue her past the turrets here, as Soraka barely makes it back as the only team alive. Soraka with no deaths yet, surprisingly. Yeah, see, that was my one gripe I had about that team fight there, is that they decided to keep attached to that Nexus turret for a little too long. So blue team was able to turn the tide of the fight, help close this gold gap to only about 7k right now, which is decently close to what blue team has been doing all game. Jax was able to finish his Trinity Force, so close to completing his Hextech Gunblade, which is a very good item on Jax. Diana right now has a Rod of Ages Banshee's Veil and a needlessly large mod, and it's just a choice to rush that Banshee's Veil so fast, considering the amount of poke that red team has with Brand's. I guess that would very much help her against Brand, but still they have quite a bit of poking power on their own with Sivir and Brand. So quite a little bit of poke that could help to deactivate that Banshee's Veil before a fight. Janna, on the other hand, already has her Aegis, which is very useful in team fights. Looks like red team might be coming to do Baron. Blue team has no vision on this. However, they do ping it as if Psychic. Jax is going to go check. See that Baron is being aggroed by red team. He's like, ruh-roh. Team better get over here, or else we might lose Baron. They know Brand's there. Brand knows the other team is there. Oh, here comes blue team initiating with Shyvana and Jax. They're going to do a bunch of damage to red team. Brand is going to pop his ulti, stun Jax, and then burst him down with the help of Sivir. Brand could still be in this fight though, as Ezreal goes against Sivir. It looks like Ezreal's winning that fight. However, over here, Riven is trying to take down all blue team by her lonesome self. However, she is not that strong, as red team is going to have to fall back because it's 4v3 right now, having lost Riven and Pantheon. Brand gets dropped, Sivir gets dropped. Soraka is going to have to hope her boots of ganking kick in to help her get away. She does cower behind her tower. That rhymed. Oh, that was pretty cool. And barely makes it away. Very good engaged by the blue team. Very poor job of red team, getting so overconfident, taking Baron when they knew that the other team wasn't fully down yet. However, I don't know if blue team can handle Baron right now. They might be able to. Looks like as long as Diana's taking it, they should be perfectly fine. They just do not want Shyvana there to take too much damage. If I was Shyvana, I would just leave a beat. Baron can do a ton of damage. The Ashes on her. Yep, they are able to pick up the Baron. Good job by blue team. Shyvana smiting it, getting some gold. Good job. As Jax is back here saying, "Oh, we need to defend our base from these terrible super minions." Also, I would like to get gold by pew-pewing minions with my lamppost. Looks Looks like blue team is going to take this time to get Baron and then push back the creep waves, which have gotten closer and closer to their towers. Because don't forget, as inhibitors are destroyed, all the enemy minions get stronger. So that means your lanes are going to be pushed as the other team's minions will be stronger than your minions if your inhibitors are down. So that is why lanes get pushed so very much when inhibitors are taken down. Blue team Shyvana was like, I can take a dragon, I'm a dragon, right? But nope, forced to turn herself into a dragon as she flees that situation, not wanting to get caught in a 3v1. Fortunately, she might not have that ult up for the next team fight, which would be very detrimental to blue team's team fighting ability without a Shyvana in dragon form. There goes a Giant Tornado. Right now, Brand is rocking some great items, a Death Cap, a Ryze, a Void Staff, and a Willed Ancient. Almost has a full build even, with so much creep score, so many kills. He's just doing himself such a good job of keeping that, having a lot of money. That Brand is most certainly fed, however, it hasn't made them win team fights as of late. Let's look at his cooldowns for his abilities. I don't really play Brand too much, so I'm not completely familiar with his cooldowns. Just checking them. Just checking. Looks like blue team doesn't want to clear this creep wave. Neither team really has a solid advantage right now, whereas red team still has a decent gold lead of about 3.5k, a little bit more. Oh, I'd say about 4k. Yeah, about a 4k gold lead in red team's favor. Whereas blue team has been winning the last few team fights and has a Baron buff, so it's quite obvious why red team doesn't want to engage. Despite the Baron buff, blue team has just been showing themselves to be a better team fighting force than red team is. Are they going to initiate? No. No initiate yet. I don't think red team wants to be initiated on. If I were them, I would just fall back for this Jax. Decides to go to Jax mode, start hitting people with lampposts on red team, which would be very detrimental to their score. However, Soraka is able to keep her team nice and healthy despite the poke. Right now, let's look at the supports because their itemization changes the game. Right now, for Aura's, Soraka only has a Soul Shroud and Shurelia's Reverie, whereas an Aegis of the Legion is what Janna has. Janna looks like to be building Random's Omen and Shurelia's Reverie. Right now, just Shurelia's Reverie, as yes, there it is, completed Shurelia's Reverie. Very good. Shyvana's items are very typical for Shyvana. The Frozen Mount to help her stick to targets easier since she has no crowd control outside of red buff, when she gets it. Looks like red team doing a little bit of warding, camping the lane. Here comes Shyvana. She's not going to want to engage on this since she gets initiated on, starts taking a lot of damage. Here comes Jax from behind, pounding down that Brand as he releases his ulti and all of his skills. Blue team's just going to rush in here, clean up Brand. Oh, but then Brand and Pantheon are able to take out two high damage dealers of blue team. I don't think blue team's able to do this anymore as their tanky DPS are gone. All that's left is a support and a ranged carry Ezreal. Ezreal gets exhausted. He has to flash away as red team goes on trying to catch him. However, I don't believe they're going to be able to catch him unless they tower dive this turret, which might not be the smartest of ideas. That was a very good team fight by red team, focusing the two tanky DPSs, taking them down very, very quickly in the fight. Was allowed to, even without Brand, the rest of red team to pick up the remainder of the kills, as they had nobody left to tank for their team but squishies. Unfortunately, in this situation, neither team really has a designated tank. So, there's not a... Although I would say blue team has more in terms of maybe crowd control. Oh, that is highly debatable. I don't think the Janna ult was used to the optimal effect in that last team fight, unfortunately, for blue team. Whereas red team now, running around. Having won a team fight, however, not really able to take very many objectives, unfortunately for them. As this game starts to get deep into the late game, we are going to find Pantheon start doing his burst isn't going to be as satisfying as it was early game, but he is still has a teleport, and he still is able to tank damage for his team and dish out a decent burst of his own. But this Brand has a complete item build. Look at that. Very nice. He's the only one in the game with a completed item build. Looks like Jax is starting to build his Guardian Angel as he knows the next team fight could decide the favor of the game. Guardian Angels are extremely useful in very late game team fights, as if you die, they'll bring you back, and suddenly you just have a lot more fighting power than the other team does, because it's basically a 6v4. I mean 6v5. Sorry, I got a little too caught up in that song. 6v4. Very good song. You should all check it out. It's a pretty good song. The Guardian Angel just adds so much survivability with its passive, and it also gives a nice number of resistances too. It's either going to be given blue buff to their brand, as he's going to be the one to take most use out of it. This is going to help his cooldowns a lot, giving him a lot stronger teamfight presence. Very good, very good. Right now, this could really go either way. Both teams are looking very good. It's just going to depend on the focus, on where the damage goes, on which team is able to get the better positioning. Baron's about to come back up, or at least blue team thinks it is. I didn't keep the best timer on it. Red team knows, hey, look guys, Baron might be coming up soon. We kind of need to deal with that. Or we need to push to win while they Baron. This could really go either way. Blue team wants to get Baron, but then they're like, Baron's not going to be up in enough time. We're going to lose our base if we sit here, aren't we? Jax is going to go back to defend. The rest of blue team wants to get Baron. But no, their inhibitor is going to go down. Red team's pushing the base for the win. And only 2 members of blue team are here. 3 members now. Looks like they're going to be able to take this Nexus turret without any interference at all. Blue team waiting too long for Baron. It's going to take a lot of damage. Jack's trying to get focused. However, their Sivir has dropped extremely low on red team. Oh, and there she goes. She gets knocked out of the fight almost immediately. Bran trying to nuke down Diana, but Diana's not taking none of that. As then Pantheon also gets focused down. Ooh, that was a bad team fight by red team. We'll see as you saw there, with Pantheon, he wasn't doing very much damage at all in that fight right there, unfortunately. And that is the curse of Pantheon. He suffers from his own disease called I wish I did more damage late game. So very unfortunate for red team to be doing so well early game, and then late game they just have so many just that member of their team not doing as much damage as they could, allowing blue team to pick up a 3 Baron. Some of you might like Pantheon. I personally don't like him. He's a decent champion. I love it when he's my top laner and I'm jungler, because that's like free money for both of us. I just don't like to play him very much. And blue team is just going to take this free Baron. And right now their team fight presence is even better than before, but Jax, an incredibly strong late game character, Shyvana, a very good team fighter, and Janna, also an extremely strong team fighter. This could still go either way, but despite the early game, despite the kills, despite the gold advantage, it looks like blue team has a very strong advantage right now. However, it is important to note, blue team's AD carry Ezreal did not get Baron buff. Very important to note. As blue team goes around clearing up objectives, looks like we might be one team fight away from the end of this game, as we only have 2 minutes left. I can see this one going either way though. It's just going to depend on the team fight. Blue team has a naked Nexus right now. Any members of red team could just rush in and start auto-attacking their Nexus. That might be what they decide to do. They need to constantly have a defense there, or at least vision on most, if not all, of red team's champions. Because right now their Nexus is extremely vulnerable. Looks like red team is pushing down mid. Blue team is going to need all their members here to secure a victorious team fight. As red looks to do some pushing, some hard pushing. Right now, there's only here comes them. Both teams at a standoff underneath blue team's turret. Blue team does have Baron buff though. Red team might not want to engage into that Baron buff, but let's see how it goes right now. As this team fight could erupt at any moment. Tensions are high. Both teams want to end this game, but which way will it go? Red team is in retreat right now, trying to throw down some poke damage. Shirelius is popped. Jackson's just going to run in and start murdering the AD carry. However, the AD carry barely escapes that. Janna pops her ult. I don't know if that was the best position for an ult. As red team's Sivir gets taken down extremely early. Brand is doing a ton of damage, able to take down Shyvana. Brand is still there doing tons of damage, but no, Jackson just jumped right on top of him, nuking him down. Ezreal also gets destroyed, along with Diana. Red team is able to turn around this team fight. Jax, his Guardian Angel pops, but it's not going to matter, as he's the only one left. And he might be able to run out of there, but no. Blue team's just like, we're gonna CC you and slow you and do terrible, terrible things. As blue team only has Janna, and that looks like it's going to end right now. And right now, yes, it looks like that red team has the key team advantage right now, as blue team is out for a large portion of this game. Doesn't look like they're going to make it. But yes, as their tower goes down, their inhibitor would be next. It looks like blue team might even just surrender right here, as John is the only one left to defend, and it's just so much damage on red team. That was a very strong last team fight for them. Great positioning, great focus, just taking down the people necessary on red team. And this looks like it's going to be it as long as they auto-attack the Nexus. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a spectacular game with wonderful team fights. It shows you a lot about the champions that were played. Very well played by both teams, but red team just able to take the strong advantage and finally just end that last team fight on such a good note. Very well played by red team. Very strong end game, despite the fact, thanks to their very successful early and mid game, they were able to rush that into an end game that, while it looked a bit shaky for them there near the end, they were able to capitalize on it and take the Nexus. So good on them. Thank you for watching. Like if you thought this video was good. Leave a comment on how I can do better. Subscribe if you want to see more of the same content. Also, I plan on this weekend trying to get out a few not shoutcasted games but analyzed games that I review beforehand and make notes on. I'm going to try to get a few of those out. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not currently at my house right now. I'm visiting my family, but I did bring my computer. That's how I am doing this right now. So, yeah. Like, favorite, subscribe. All of the above help me so very much. Thank you for watching, and you all have some good games.